Hello, my name is JB and I'm from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Today, I'm going to talk about what it's like to live in Dutch Harbor, Alaska. Before I moved to Green Bay, I actually lived in Dutch Harbor, and the reason I lived there is because I was working for a seafood processing company called Westward Seafoods. And I was there, how long? Maybe a year and a half or something like that. Um, and the thing I remember most about um, living there was the fact that every time that you left to go to what they call the lower 48, um, you had to fly in an airplane first to Anchorage and then from Anchorage to Seattle and then from Seattle to wherever you're from. So there was a lot of air miles. And the thing about Dutch Harbor is that it is in a part of the world where there are a lot of storms. And so sometimes you can fly from Anchorage to Dutch Harbor, and when you get to Dutch Harbor, they make you turn around and go back to Anchorage. They won't even let you land. And there were a couple kind of worrisome landings that I was a part of, kind of rough landings. Um, I never was in any accidents, but there have been accidents, even in the last couple of years up there, because of how the airport is situated and also the weather, as I mentioned. But once you get to Dutch Harbor, you'll notice that everything there has something to do with fish, just about. Fishing is a big part of the community. It's how a lot of the people make their lives. Either they are fishermen, they work at seafood processing plants, or they do something that somehow supports the industry. Um, and a lot of people know Dutch Harbor because of that television show, um, Deadliest Catch. And some of the fishermen that are on that show come to the different plants. Not all of them go to the same plant, but different ones go to different plants. And sometimes if you work in a plant, you can look out and see their boat coming in. And if you go to a certain bar at certain times, you might see some of those people. I have at least once I can remember. But Dutch Harbor, it is isolated, so it's basically in the middle of the ocean between Seattle and Japan. It's at close to the end of the Aleutian Island chain that comes down from mainland Alaska, and so it's isolated. It's hard to get to, and then once you get there, you're basically there with whoever's already there. There's not a lot of people coming and going other than in the daily flights. Uh, but obviously, there's no roads going to it. Some people might arrive by boat, but very few. Because even the people who are fishermen or have boats, they don't drive their boats all the way from Seattle to Dutch Harbor. They just dock their boat in Dutch Harbor. So they fly in and then get on their boat. But in Dutch Harbor, I mean, people go there to work. People not really going there to go on vacation most of the time. Some people might, but for the most part, people are going to Dutch Harbor to work. And in the seafood processing plant that I worked in, we worked a lot. We worked up to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week for 3 or 4 months straight. Normally, it was less than 18 hours a day. Normally, it was like 12, 13. But it could be 18, depending on a lot of things. Um, uh, we worked a lot. And the one good thing about the place that I worked was that I didn't have to pay rent. I didn't have to pay for food. I didn't have to pay for them to clean my room, and I didn't have to pay for them to do my laundry. So I didn't really have bills, other than maybe I had a phone bill from back home or something. But um, for the most part, I didn't need to pay anything, and so I was able to save money. And then, like, since you work for a few months at a time, after that 3 or 4 months that you work straight through, and you might get a day off every once in a while, but let's just say you work straight through, then you usually have like a month and a half, 2 months vacation. And so when you have your vacation, it's not paid vacation, but it's time off. You can go anywhere you want in the world. You got plenty of time to do it. And some people, they go to Philippines. Some people go to Mexico. Some people go to Europe, the Middle East, wherever they want. I went to Nicaragua, Mexico, and Puerto Rico. But you can pretty much do whatever you want. But living in Dutch Harbor is a hard life because you're away from your family and friends. You meet new friends, but you're away from your regular family and friends. You are working a lot. You don't have access to a lot of the things that people like. I mean, there's bars and there's food, there's restaurants and stuff, but like, there's not entertainment. There are stores, but there's not a lot of shopping. There's not a lot of extra things to do, like fairs or different gatherings of people, because people are just working all the time. And so, well, one other thing is the fact that during the summer it's light most of the day, most of the 24 hours. And in the winter, it's dark most of the 24 hours. And that's hard to get used to. At least it was for me. And I have been going to Alaska since 2007. But that's still hard to get used to. Like, in the middle of the day, it's dark. I need to see light, because light makes me feel good, But there isn't much of that during the winter in Alaska. And what else? One thing you'll notice if you go to Dutch Harbor is that there's wildlife everywhere. So you might see foxes. You will see bald eagles. They call them Alaskan eagles. And they'll just be like right there at the front of the store, on a dock, standing on the side of the road, like just flying around. Sometimes they'll let you get really close, and sometimes they won't. It's not safe to do that. But they're everywhere. And if you go up on a mountain and you look down into the water, you might see like a whale or a dolphin or something. I remember seeing whales. I never saw a dolphin. But there's all sorts of sea creatures that you might see. And if you like being outdoors, like hiking or mountain climbing, that's a good place because there's a lot of mountains there. You're not supposed to access them without paying to access them. You have to get a permit from the Native Alaskans who own that land. But you can go on it with permission and climb all those mountains and hike around and, enjoy the scenery. I like taking photos with my camera, and so I enjoyed that. Some days after work, I would just go on a hike and take pictures, or just walk down the side of the bay and take pictures. But there's always something that you look at that's gonna like inspire awe, because it's really a beautiful place. But yeah, so if you have heard about seafood processing jobs or fishing jobs and you're thinking of going there, what I would encourage you to do is do a lot of research, because you might get there and figure out that's not for you, and then you're going to have to pay your own ticket home, and it may be thousands of dollars. And plus, if you get there and you quit your job, you won't have anywhere to stay, and you will have to pay for a hotel, which I don't even know what the prices are now, but I'm sure hundreds of dollars a night. And so you just have to be prepared, and you have to know what you're getting yourself into, because you don't want to get all the way up there and just find out that's not what you want. So I would ask good questions of the person that you're thinking about working for, the company you're thinking about working for. I would try to find other people who have actually had experience and ask them what it's like. Just use all the resources available to you to learn about what you're thinking about going to do before you do it. So that was my Alaskan experience. Again, it was about a year and a half that I was there in Dutch Harbor specifically. It is nice to have a more stable lifestyle. Here I have a more stable lifestyle than I did there. But there are certain things that I miss about it. It was a good experience. But thanks for listening. Have a good day.